I need a frame of this shit, bro.
Facts.
I want to look at this shit for like hours one day.
You can cry. All right.
Imagine if they could have stayed together this long, bro.
Yeah, until the dude in the middle had to fuck it up. His dumbass. All right, camera's rolling.
You can keep that. You can take.
Yeah,
that
you
to-
could definitely keep that, bro.
Take that to the
Oh
bank.
God, bro.
Fucking
Neymar. All right, guys, you already know who the fuck it is, man. It's your boy Tincho Sports, aka Rap Game Fito Celaya, and I'm with,
Your boy Lex, aka Good Crazy Lexo, baby.
aka Good Crazy in the house. You already know who the fuck it is, man. Barcelona boys, Barca Boys. We're back at it, brand new video. Summertime means lots of transfers going on everywhere. Barcelona needs transfers coming ASAP, and LAPORTA's doing magic because we're broke.
We're getting good deals too.
We are, but we're broke.
Yeah, we're broke.
We're broke, but we're getting great deals. We have 3 players confirmed right now. We're in the verge of signing 2 extras with many more to come, especially now that Koeman has confirmed that he's going to stay for at least another season or 2. So we're going to get those transfers that he wants to get. So we got 5 transfers that we're going to talk about today. 3 of them that have already been secured, one of them that is about to come, and one that is getting slowly further and further away.
It's a rumor, but
It's a rumor.
You know, we're gonna get
rumor.
into it.
But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna give you guys like what we think about the transfers, yay or nay, and how they can contribute to the team. But before we get into that, Lex, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, bro.
Yeah, I like the shirt, bro.
Yeah, thank
show
you, bro.
the world what you got on, bro.
Got
Show the
this.
fit.
I-
Show the fit. Bro.
I had to kiss the bag
Stand up,
earlier
bro.
in the
Stand
video,
up,
feel
bro.
me? But,
Stand
like,
up, bro.
you know,
Stand
I'm
up,
saying
bro.
I got this.
Vuelta. Ooh.
I got the second the away jersey for
Okay.
Atlas. Shout out to Charlie, but not
Okay,
really.
Charlie. All right.
Nah, but I mean, I'm feeling all right. As we're recording this, it's a Monday, so yesterday I took 2 L's yesterday. I ain't gonna talk about it. One of them was clearly Mexico, bro, and we're not gonna get into that because that's a whole other video. But it is what it is. We move on from it. Take it to the chin.
We move on, and that is a great transition into our first transfer. The first transfer that Barcelona officially came across this transfer window. One of the greatest signings so far that we've had in a long time. Sergio Kun Agüero, Man City's historic striker, one of the greatest strikers of all time, arguably the greatest foreign player to ever play in the Premier League, came to Barcelona for free. Now, I know he's getting up there with age. He's 32, 33 right now. He didn't have the best season with City, had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's free just means that anything that he contributes from here on out is a positive.
I think so too. I think the only negative that I would take from this whole transfer is us getting rid of Suarez. Because I personally thought we were going to step away from the old and start dipping into the new. But I mean, it looks like Koeman maybe has a little things up his sleeve. So we're going to have to see what's up.
I touched about this on my last video that I made the day that Kun was announced, and I think there are a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly recap. So Suarez was an undisputed starter on the team. A player like Suarez that busts his ass at practice and every game, it's hard to bench him.
It is.
Especially with a club legend. So last summer, Suarez came to the board. He's like, hey, I'm looking for an extension. You know, I've done this and this and this. I'm looking for an extension. But he was very expensive, and the club was broke and is still broke. So I understand wanting to rejuvenize the team. I think that the way that they carried out the Suarez deal was terrible. But bro, Suarez had to leave.
You don't think he would have taken a pay cut?
I don't think it's fair for him to take a pay cut.
I know.
You know?
Coming off of the season that he did, I feel like a pay cut would be okay, but he didn't want a pay cut.
Right. I would have been okay with Suarez coming off the bench because I think that that's what was best for the team. Again, the way that they handled the Suarez situation was not good. But now we saw that we needed a striker, bro. We said that from the beginning. We needed a striker, so we got him. I think Kun is coming in as a sub. Like a super sub type of thing. I don't think he's gonna start. I don't think he expects to start. He took a pay cut to come to Barca. So I mean, it reminds me of like the Larson situation a few years ago in Laporta's first reign. Henrik Larsson had come from Celtic where he had torn it up. He was one of the best strikers. He was coming up there in age. So he came to Barca and was just a super sub. Was just goals when we needed him, the playmaker that we needed him. So that's what Koen brings, not only goals but playmaking as well. So if you give Koen, 5 chances in the game, he'll put one away.
Oh no, yeah. I think you saw that at the last bit of his season right there, scoring like 2 goals. I mean, he was scoring.
And that's what we lacked. We didn't have a 9. So I think in those complicated games where we need a goal, we have Kun Agüero coming off the bench.
And the other team is already subconsciously thinking, when is he going to go?
Exactly. So I think it's a plus, man. I mean, unless he just doesn't play a single second for Barca or just completely terrible. Exactly. So I think it'll just be a benefit. So adding one of the greatest strikers of all time for free is definitely a good plus. Like we mentioned, he was the 9 that we didn't have, a playmaking 9 as well. His playmaking is really underrated. Coming off the bench for free and took a pay cut, dude. I don't see why not.
I think something that he really adds to our game is a sense of control. And what I mean by that is we were having a lot of difficulty in the final third.
Right.
And it's that final pass. But with him in that pocket, or when we need him to be there as a super sub, as you're intending him to be, and I completely agree, we have more control of like, if this doesn't come out to be like, because we pass it a lot in front of their 18,
right? But
sometimes we need that shot, and I know Koen will fire something just super dangerous out of nowhere and just end the play, or maybe even get a nice little solid like rebound from the keeper. But it's just that venom that we lack, like Martin was saying, and I feel like the contribution for me is just that spark that he brings to just el gol, you know, to just score. And
there were a lot of times when, if Griezmann was playing up top or Messi plays up top, they make runs to incorporate themselves in the game. We get the ball out wide, but there's no one in the middle to finish.
And then we just go back around.
And so that's where Koen would be in the box, and he's a fucking predator.
There we go.
I think that's a great move.
A lot of options.
Okay, number 2, the second one that they announced. This one they have been contemplating since last summer, but we were broke boys, #BrokeBoys last summer, so we weren't able to get him. So we got him on another free transfer, also from City. We got center back Eric Garcia. To be truthful, I haven't seen a lot of his games because he hasn't been a starter at City. I think he's
ever since the Barca rumor, they hadn't really played him.
Right, so he's 3rd, 4th string center back. I mean, he's young. There's a lot of comparisons with Piqué. But I think the fact that like they are coming, former Masia players went to Manchester and coming back, I think that's as far as the comparisons really go.
Really, yeah. Because he played a little bit. But
the thing now that we're looking back at it is we're not exactly like in need of center backs. I guess we are. Because Piqué has limited time. Lenglet.
I think it was okay because we were so disappointed with Umtiti and how he's been playing. So I think trying to maybe get him off our payroll is like probably ideal, because I mean Eddie isn't really claimed as like a star center back just yet. So I mean, I think the wages there are good. However, with Umtiti and hopefully him leaving soon, sad to say, but I mean it was needed, I think, because we've had really bad center back pickings like Vermaelen and just a lot of other names I won't get into.
Matu.
Yeah.
But I think he adds yet another young core group of players. So if he's able to fit in with the club, he's going to be the same age as Araujo, Mingueza, Pedri,
and
that whole generation.
And going off of that, I feel like they can now establish almost a culture.
Yeah.
And with that culture of the youth and what they can bring to the next generation, before them, is going to be nice. And it'd be really nice to see how Araujo has been adapting with, I'm sure, Piqué in his year. I'm sure, like, Lenglet even in his year now. I mean, like, he's done a lot so far in quite a short amount of time.
Right.
It just adds that extra level of professionalism. It adds that extra level of okay, like, we're all gonna work together as a unit now.
Right.
And that's goes part in the culture too, because I think we lost that a little bit, like, as the years went by.
But now we add another Masia product, so we're adding to that second golden generational talent. So again, he's free, so
free, and he knows how we play.
Yeah, so he's got Barca DNA. He came for free. I'll take it. Number 3, another former player that we rescued, Emerson. So we talked about this before. Emerson can play both wings. Is that my understanding? He can play left and right.
I've seen him play both. However, I want to know where you see him. I was literally asking myself this question.
That is a great question.
I'm telling you, we have so many off-camera debates. It's fucking crazy. But
that's why we started this podcast.
Going back to it, it's like we had this long discussion on like we've seen him play on the left and we've also seen him play on the right.
Right.
However, that kind of just ended there. We never really said, okay, so is he looking to replace Jordi or is he being another like a backup for Des?
So my understanding of it is it depends what we do with Firpo, because I think Firpo's on his way out. Junior Firpo's on his way out. I think Des this season solidified as a starter. If we bring in another center mid, which we're going to get into in a bit, and we have a player that can play backup right back, I mean, Sergio Roberto's out of here. So I think that might have been the reason why the club brought him in. So he could be potentially a backup left back, but also compete for a starting right back position with Des.
We're doing. The thing with LAPORTA that I'm now starting to realize is like the way he kind of gets rid of the old is he brings in a lot of new and just lets the old sit. Like Umtiti, he brought in Linglet straight up, and then Umtiti never really saw the field then.
Yeah.
So I think it's more or less giving like the cold shoulder, but I mean Umtiti played a little bit, but just because I think we wanted to add that extra appeal that he still plays, like we're gonna sell him.
Yeah. I think the incorporate, because Emerson killed it last season. He did really well with Betis.
He killed
so I think it's a positive contribution. Regardless whether he plays right or left. If he plays left, dude, I think his minutes are really limited, and I don't want Junior Firpo Part 2 to happen. So if he's competing with Dest for that starting position, healthy competition is always welcome. And Dest actually can play right or left. He plays left with the national team, plays right with Barca. He can play with both. I think he's better off in his right just because he's right-footed. But it's cool to have two outside backs that can also play two positions. So
versatility is something that's definitely needed as like games go by and injuries happen and stuff like that.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to see just where they play him. But other than that, man, I think it's a great addition.
I think so. I think for me, he adds a lot of speed in getting forward.
Right.
Kind of what Jordi contributes, but I feel like for me, in my eyes, I see him as a left back. Solely because Jordi's getting old, and I feel like Jordi now is just a one-trick pony.
Right.
And Emerson adds in, bro, you know how these Brazilians are. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, dude. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We already know how explosive, how
just
versatile.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And having them outside in the wing is a pleasure to me. Yeah. So I'm just ready to see how, he kind of shakes up the lineup a little bit. Bro, there's going to be some eyebrows being raised for sure.
We've gone from Semedo and Sergio Roberto at right back to Dest and Emerson at right back. That's pretty fucking good.
Emerson has always been on my watch list for this very reason. He almost reminds me of like the cheaper version of Daniel.
Yeah, so he's coming in, man. He's got the whole world ahead of him. So I think it's a good transfer, adding to a position where we are very inexperienced. In one side, we're completely experienced with Jordi and like a complete veteran, and on the other side, we're very still inexperienced.
Yeah,
but
like,
it's a good mix.
It's that right back has been very weird these past couple seasons because we went from Sergi to then Des, or to Semedo to then like Des, which is such a big margin. I mean, we've been fucked with on that right side too long.
Too much.
And we just need to solidify something.
So I'm glad that he came in. He's going to add competition to the roster. Fourth one. So this one is close to signing. Media reports are saying he's going to come. It's just a matter of time until they announce it. Now that Coleman has announced that he's going to stay, I think it's just a matter of hours until they announce it. Used
to be a really favorite player of mine too.
Memphis Depay. Depay or Depay? Depay. Tomato.
Potato.
Memphis Depay coming to Barca. This one's a little bit tricky because we're at the moment we're stacked with players in this position.
Yeah.
He could play out on the wing as a left striker. Left winger. He could play striker. He could play the 10.
I've never really seen him play the 8.
No. He plays in the front line.
Yeah.
Either like in the front line or as like the second striker. I like him. He's a really good player to watch. Olfato de gol too. Has that like X factor to him. Which I personally like. Under Koeman with the Netherlands, he really exploded. He really took that extra jump in his career. Another player that's coming for free. That's a big one too, because another player that's coming for free has that connection, that Dutch connection with Koeman. But now again, the tricky part is like, who do you bench?
It's tricky because I can kind of see where Koeman's going with it, trying to line him up with De Jong, because him and De Jong for the national team sometimes are super nice.
Right, but then are we gonna become Netherlands part 2?
And that's what I'm saying. Are we gonna become like a Wolves part 2, where we're just bringing in like people from Netherlands? Like that's the thing. Like, I get that, you know, like Cruyff started like the what is it? What do we call it?
Football?
Like, yeah, like he started the whole thing for Barca, like Barca's blueprint almost.
Yeah.
So I get the fact that you want to bring in all these players that do mirror like maybe the same values and stuff like that. However, I just feel like that's not the way to go.
I think they're all very similar. Like Messi, Griezmann, and Depay have like very similar games. So I don't know if you were able to put all 3 of them in. I don't know if like does this mean, you know, with Koen and Depay coming in, does that mean that either Griezmann or Dembele are gonna be sold? Because we just like we can't put everybody there, bro. We just can't. So it's gonna have to be a matter of, I think it's gonna make a lot more sense once we start seeing like players being sold, because we haven't sold anybody. So once players start getting sold, we're going to see kind of more of the vision. But I think the fact that you can play it on the wing and as a secondary striker, that really helps.
I just don't want to see the lost Antoine Griezmann that we had before.
Yeah.
Because I feel like just like he was trying to get used to Messi, and maybe Depay wants to play a little bit more aggressive, you know, it's his first season or what have you. I just don't want to see the shadow of Griezmann, because I feel like this season he really cemented himself in that 10 position.
Right. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But I mean, apart from that, bro, it's a free transfer. A world-class player,
more quality to the
playing
bench,
for one of the best teams in France, playing for one of the best national teams in the world. It's a great signing, bro. I'll take him any day. Lastly, though, one signing that I do not want. Koeman, I know you're listening to Barca Boyz. I don't want him. I am not having it. You see this finger? I don't want him. Wijnaldum.
Gigi.
Listen, you little fucker. Listen.
I know you're watching too.
Why do we need him?
I just feel like this is whole Pjanic 2.0 type of thing, where it's like we're trying to bring in these quality players, yes, for these nice clubs.
Not even quality like that, bro.
Why cut the man some slack, bro? He plays hard. He's a hard worker, but I don't see him in a Barca jersey, and I just don't feel like he fits our system. I get that he's played for Koeman before, but Barca's a whole new beast, bro.
I just don't see why we would want to bring in Wijnaldum when we already have Pjanic rotting in the bench. They're the same type of player.
He's gonna do the same
that
thing.
Would create the same role. Essentially, they're bringing in for the same role. So why are we gonna bring him in? If Koeman's looking for a player to match those attributes, go look at Pjanic, bro. Because if we really needed a player like that, which I don't think we necessarily need, but if we do need a player like that, you already have Pjanic that we already spent 60 mil and gave away Arthur for. So we might as well, like, if you're really looking for a player, might as well use what we have. Wijnaldum would also be free, but in this case, I know we talked about with Koen how anything that he does at this point, because he was free, is just going to be a positive. But I don't see that with Wijnaldum. I think even though he's free, he's still, because think about it, he would be taking minutes away from Masia midfielders that are looking to push. That's less minutes for Ricky Puig. That's less minutes for Ilaix. That's less minutes for different midfielders that are looking to break into the line. We still have Aleñá might come back. He's been on a loan, you know what I mean? So there's midfielders that could use that time. And maybe they're not the same characteristics. I think Elix might be more similar to Wijnaldum in that. But I don't know, dude. We don't need him.
Yeah.
We don't need him. He's been close to signing with PSG. It was announced today.
I was just going to say, I mean, you can...
He got the offer from Barcelona. Obviously, the Koeman effect has really been calling his name. De Jong as well with Depay, but...
I think, and from what I've heard, PSG's offering this man double the amount that Barca's at, like, his salary.
Take him.
So... In all honesty, like, this actually works good for us being broke right now because we can't really even counter offer anything double from what we're paying.
Take him, bro. Take him.
So I feel like if he's already just looking to just use his name to get a really big paycheck, PSG's your spot. They love giving money away.
Take him. I honestly, I don't see why PSG would need him either.
Dude,
they already have Paredes and Verratti.
Rafinha, who's riding the bench. Like,
think about like his
Draxler, who's riding the bench.
His player characteristics are very similar to Verratti and Paredes, who you already have. So, I mean, dude, again for me in a 3-person midfielder, you have a holding mid, great on the ball, just positioning, right? You have a box to box, the number 8 Verratti, and then you have a creative midfielder, right? The number 10. In their case, they put Di Maria, Draxler up there sometimes. Wijnaldum could play the 5 as a holding or the 8 to box, but they already have those players that are better than him. So it doesn't make sense for them. It doesn't make sense for us. But dude, if you want him, by all means.
But it is how it is, bro. Like, I think every big club does this. Like, if a club's trying to sneak away like a player that is like about like kind of how we did with Malcolm. Like,
for a season.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's little things like this where it's like, okay, like, thank God, like, you took that away from us. Like, who? Anyways, I got a surprise question.
Hit me.
Is this the season Busquets hits the bench?
Depends who we bring in.
So De Jong's not enough?
No.
Not yet, or
no? Because De Jong's at 8-8. He's a box to box. I don't see him as a holding, bro. Because if you only have him as a holding, you're missing out. Because he gets forward a lot. He contributes a lot more. So he has to be the 8-8. If you keep him at holding, you're kind of like restricting his game plan. So if we get another midfielder that is more holding and that has a similar, then it might have to be. It might have to be. But in the meantime, we don't have anybody. We didn't have a better holding mid than Busquets last season. And in this new position where he's not alone in the middle, he has De Jong right next to him, that he's been flourishing. It's a better system for him. So I don't think it's the permanent solution, but I think in the meantime, even if we do bring Wijnaldum, I still think Busquets would start.
No, without a doubt. And the reason why I asked the question is because Busquets is one of the guys that actually holds the glue to this team.
Right.
And it's crazy to see because, you know, it's a player like Benzema for Real Madrid. So many players that fucking came in.
Right.
So many players, loads of players.
Right.
You got Higuain, you can name them. But Benzema
having a good Monday.
But Benzema stays.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Busquets. I feel like we've tried to bring in players and Busquets just seems to hold on to the key.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly curious as to when we tackle that solution because I haven't seen anything come. De Jong, I think for me was the closest thing because the way that Ajax was playing him at the time, they played him pretty much like a holding mid.
He was a holding mid.
And honestly, like now with Barca, I do see him more as an 8.
Mm-hmm.
And
he runs everywhere.
And he does, and he's our Conte at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And man puts in a lot of work. Dion, are you listening? But I'm just curious when we're gonna attack that.
I think you got to bring in a replacement before you start thinking about putting him on the bench.
So Elix isn't the replacement either. Not yet.
Because he's more of an 8. Same thing, bro. He's more of an 8. Like as a holding mid, you have to be composed on the ball, and Elix isn't as composed as Busquets.
Next time you see Elix, think of Pogba.
Yeah, definitely. Pogba. That's what I see him in. That's 100% what he is. So unless you bring in but you can't even just bring a holding mid. You have to bring the holding mid. You have to bring the holding mid because it's Sergio fucking Busquets, dude. You know, you're not replacing a scrub. You're replacing, for me, the greatest holding midfielder that's ever played the game.
Oh, dude.
So you
that
have
makes
to
it look so easy.
You have to bring in someone that meets that same level. So in the meantime, I think Busquets stays. And in the meantime, even if he does come, Wijnaldum is not fucking Busquets. So moral of the story: Busquets is a starter. Fuck Wijnaldum. PSG, please go ahead and take him. And we're just waiting for more transfers. I think before we make any more transfers, we got to sell. So Laporta has said that he's going to be selling. It's just a matter of when.
And something that I like about Laporta is he holds his cards till the very, not the very end, but just wait on it, dude. He's gonna pull some shit out where it's like, you're gone, because man is a businessman and he is ruthless.
Holland. No, I wish.
Dude,
I wish. He's not a fucking magician. He's not a magician.
Hey, but if you can make it happen, Captain.
For the next episode, I'm gonna give you guys a little preview right now. I have a solution where we could bring in a center back from a top team in Europe for little to no money.
I know exactly.
That's for the next episode.
I know exactly.
That's for the next episode. But in the meantime, we have 3 signings complete, 1 pending, 1 hopefully he doesn't come. But there's so much more to come.
It's not, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I hope so.
I don't think.
I hope it doesn't.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because he heard Barca Boyz. He's gonna see a video. He's gonna be like, you know what?
He's about to hear his ass get ripped up right now.
You know, Lex was right. Lex was right. So you know,
Martin does not want me on the pitch.
I don't.
Nor with the colors.
No. Ew. No. Bro, you need a holding mid? Call me up. My knee's almost better, bro. My knee's almost better.
Rehab just started today.
Rehab. But anyway, man, that was another episode of Barca Boyz with your boys, man. Another fun episode. We gave you guys a little bit of scoop of what's going on with the transfer market.
Let us know who you would want to see come to the team, and why not give your explanation?
If you say Wijnaldum, I will block you.
If you say Wijnaldum, we are fucking turning off the comments.
That's fact.
Had it.
That's fact.
And that's it. I'm out.
I'm out.
Your boy Lex signing out.
Follow us on all social media, man. Follow your boy at Tincho Sports on Twitter, at _Tincho Sports on Instagram. Lex, anything you want to plug in?
Not yet, but it's in the works.
Okay, follow Atlas in the meantime. You already know how it is. Can't believe Cruz Azul won the fucking title, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. It's a weird.
That's a weird year, bro.
It's a weird year we're living in, bro.
It's a weird year, man.
But what else is unusual, bro? Every unusual thing is happening nowadays.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Como siempre, thanks for watching. Como siempre, Vizca Barça.
A huevo.